All right, so we're listening to this audio.
It's Jackie, Tony, and Donnie, and they're reacting as they're realizing their Facebook is being inundated by Opie and Anthony fans.
It's just they're stupid.
So it's on there. I'm not taking it down. I mean, let them get it out of their system. Let them show who they are. These are their listeners. Let them do what they need to do. But if you see it,
obviously this cut off as it started, but they're talking about the stupid satellite radio listeners that are commenting on their Facebook page.
Yeah.
On there, I just kind of want you to know that it's on there and be forewarned.
How do you think they figured out I was gay? Because they're not even listening to it. They're like, they got some little thing.
Donnie, I don't know what they use. Who cares?
I don't even know.
At least they're keeping a good attitude about the whole thing.
Yes.
That's my favorite part of October is the innocence of the people that are being attacked. They did nothing to deserve an attack of the magnitude that we get. Do you feel bad about that, Jim, or do you like that?
Once in a while I do. Even though it's really funny, so I understand why we do it.
Yeah.
Once in a while I feel like I like to I don't like to bully people. I like to argue with people that are fucking dicks. Fucking aggressive. But it is fun to do this because to me that does wreck radio, and that becomes a standard by which we're all expected to perform by it. So it is fun to attack them.
I like when it just goes so over the top and like completely uncalled for stuff that it goes past bullying to the point where it's just like, this is just absurd what you're doing.
The fans were saying such mean shit. It was making me laugh a lot. Like,
yeah.
Just like these are nice people just doing a dumb radio show and tease them, but like, yeah, so-and-so, she should have an abortion and get raped. It's a harsh man, but it did make me laugh.
This is Jackie now. She talks about
over the top.
How fun it is that a radio war is happening.
Oh, by the way, my fucking Facebook, I'm trying to open an email. It won't open.
Can't open it.
It won't open. Why would it?
Facebook.
Shit.
Goddamn Zuckerberg.
Goddamn him.
It's funny because, back in the day, radio stations, morning shows especially, would go at each other. Like at each other.
Radio wars.
Yeah,
from a video. I'm trying to pinpoint it. My brain's not working. It's like from like a Wii store or something. It's definitely a video game.
Oh, that's what
bed.
it sounds like. Yeah.
I can't put my finger on it.
Maybe that's something the O&A show is lacking. A nice friendly bed
video
like
game
that.
beds.
We need a fun bed.
It's funny because, back in the day, radio stations, morning shows especially, would go at each other. Like at each other.
There were radio wars.
Like radio wars. And this is kind of what it reminds me of. It's a little bit fun, to be honest with you. There's nobody in this town I'd go after. I mean, I've got a BFF sitting on a competing radio station.
A
big
fat something.
Yeah. She says this is kind of fun.
Bean fries.
What? That doesn't even make any sense. I mean, Travis has made a good point right before Chip interrupted, but yeah, is it fun, really?
It's really fun.
Then why'd you close your Facebook page down? Is that how fun it was?
PD didn't think it was very fun.
Exactly.
Donnie didn't think it was fun.
We ruined your whole radio show yesterday. It wasn't fun.
No one's ever done an AIDS joke to him, and then he had 200 in a row.
Yeah.
This is kind of what it reminds me of.
Our fans go to the point where it's like, okay, we know you're going to try to be a good sport about it, so we need to take it even further to where you couldn't possibly be a good sport.
Where you can't be a good sport
right.
anymore. We don't want you being a good sport.
Yeah. It's not all in good fun. We want your feelings hurt.
A little bit fun, to be honest with you. There's nobody in this town I'd go after. I mean, I've got a BFF sitting on a competing radio station doing mornings, You
guys just text back and forth to each other.
We just text back and forth during the show. So, whatever. I just want to warn you that it is on there. Whatever. Fine, great.
Just don't click on view comments. That's the best thing we can say. I mean, really, if you
want to see it.
If you don't want to see it, just don't click on view comments.
If you want to see it, there you go.
If you want to see it or if you don't want to see it. They're not taking a stand on anything.
Yeah.
They're just beating people. And she's talking about her best friend that works at her competing radio station.
But they should have an opinion. That's to me what they do wrong. They don't have to be. They don't want to have to get into a radio, but they should have an opinion on it and say like that sucks or you guys are dicks or.
Yeah.
Like, why do you have to be the obsessively pleasant show? Why can't you have an opinion that's negative? Why can't you go, hey, that sucks? That's where they lose me.
Why don't you call us out on bullying or on being negative?
Just being dicks.
Or, on being repetitive, anything. Like, there's you don't have to, like you said, you don't have to call us idiots and morons and try to beat us at our own game. But just be honest. Like, there's no honesty in that.
It really is silly because it's annoying. They couldn't possibly like it.
Yeah.
But they are just insisting that it's fun for everyone.
I mean, I didn't know how many O&A listeners there were in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
No.
But there's a ton of people that were, like, sending me stuff on Twitter and Facebook all day yesterday saying how pleased they were that I had chosen this show and brought it to the table
good.
because they had just waited for Jackie, Tony, and Donnie to get destroyed. This is my favorite of the 4 clips because Jackie talks about exactly what the commenters were saying.
But there are some, there are comments. These people are pretty disgusting because there are comments about.
And you know what's funny is that the listeners will get mad at that. Like, you're disgusting, you pig. But you guys are disgusting. It's okay.
Never call us disgusting.
Yeah,
just go for the rest of the day.
You're garbage, and so are we.
Exactly.
It's all right.
But there are some, there are comments. These people are pretty disgusting because there are comments about. I'll be honest with you about AIDS.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first AIDS reference in the history of Jackie, Tony, and Donnie.
I'll be honest about AIDS. She didn't even know how to say it.
Yeah. She couldn't have figured out, like, about different diseases and stuff. She was so flustered by it that she said, I'll be honest about AIDS.
About AIDS.
You think their typical audience listening right now, it's a pleasant morning show, and Jackie just mentioned AIDS.
This fun zoo crew had to talk about how people are basically wishing AIDS on them on their fucking Facebook.
Because what else is it going to be about AIDS? It's either about Donnie having it or wishing it upon somebody. That's our audience.
Yeah, and nobody was talking about AIDS walkathons or help people with AIDS. They knew it was going to be fucking jokes.
Yeah, and these are not helpers, AIDS.
But there are some, there are comments. These people are pretty disgusting because there are comments about. I'll be honest with you about AIDS, about homosexuality.
Homosexuality.
So great. I'll be honest about AIDS
and homosexuality and how those things tie in, which I agree with, by the way.
Yeah.
Honest with you about AIDS, about homosexuality, pretty sexually violent comments against women.
What happened to the fun morning war you were just talking about 5 seconds ago?
Oh, Jackie.
Sexually violent comment. And you know what? The problem is she's as accurate as she's ever been in this statement.
That's the most honest thing she's ever said on
We
the
need
air.
to really go and see what some of those sexually violent comments were. Some, it was like, I hope you get punched in the cunt.
Yeah. Dude, I saw cunt 40 times.
I saw one guy who just kept, every time they made a comment, there was one user that just kept writing vaginal discharge after everything on their page.
AIDS, about homosexuality, pretty sexually violent comments against women. If this is what their show does for fun, that's kind of scary.
It is, and it is.
Yeah. You're very accurate again.
Scary. The behavior they're encouraging. It's pretty scary. So,
for that I have to correct her. Unless you mean by the behavior that they're encouraging. Now, if you talk about the behavior as far as making fun of you on Twitter or Facebook, their public forums, that's one thing. But don't paint it like anybody is encouraging people to be sexually violent towards women,
right?
Because that literally is an out and out lie. Nobody would encourage that, and I'm not saying that even for legal reasons. But it's like it's fun to goof about the horrible shit, but nobody's encouraging people to rape women or give AIDS to people.
It's what we said it was. It was taking this so far above, beyond good taste that it reaches absurdity. Yeah. And that's what it, like the comments were meant to be taken as absurd, as all of the comments are. Nobody who was actually serious about anything that was said on that Facebook would leave it as a Facebook comment.
Yeah, nobody is really going to put, I'm going to rape a morning jock and then do it.
Somebody suggested that she got her lisp by servicing black gentlemen with her mouth. I don't think that they actually thought that that's how she got it.
The behavior they're encouraging, it's pretty scary. So, anyway, it's on there. I just want you to know that it's on there.
I'm more upset they hijacked my Pet Palooza.
I know, right?
I worked so hard on that.
That's really what he's upset about.
Yeah,
You're trying to do something. You're trying to do something and you can't.
and can't.
Yeah, well,
They were trying to do Pet Palooza. One more clip. This is how they I mean, I guess, when did we do it? At 9? Yeah, we did it around 9, I think, yesterday. So the last hour of their show was kind of trying to deal with this. There was one clip of them trying to give tickets away, but it was just awkward because they refused to go to any phones.
Oh.
Because I guess our listeners just kept calling them and emailing them. So this is how they ended the show yesterday.
65 for a high. We're at 44 right now in Albuquerque. We've made it through the first day.
Oh, thank the Lord.
And here
Without
we are.
Tony. An attack on our Facebook page from some satellite show.
Do you know most days in the midday shift, my feet are up? I'm watching television.
I got to deal with stuff like this.
I got some Reach going.
Show is rocking, isn't it? Right.
What is going on?
You know, it would have been fun if it weren't like fighting with 12-year-olds today. All right, so tomorrow we've got more Panic at the Disco tickets and Patrick Stump.
How dare you comment on the maturity of our listeners?
Yeah, that's very insulting. Those are fighting words. But that's the best they can come out with. Oh, these guys are immature.
Yeah, and I also like some satellite radio show as if, well, we're not going to give them the press they want because our mission was to get mentions on the Jackie, Tony, and Donnie show. That's how we need it.
Well, that's that delusional PD shit, the program director. If you're listening to your program director, chances are you're fucking a flop.
Yeah.
Those guys suck. They're cowards.
Well, yeah, that's why every radio show that we feature on Jocktober just about sounds exactly the same. Because they're all listening to their PDs, and all their PDs went to the same management PD seminar and have all the same tips. And that's why there's nothing original happening.
And that's what Opie said, that when him and Ant would, years ago, when Stern would blast them when they were on AF, the fucking dumb program director would go, don't mention it. It's like, of course you got to mention it. This is what are you doing?
Yeah. It's not like anybody listening to Opie and Anthony didn't already know who Stern was. You're not giving him new listeners.
Yeah.
Let's comment on it. If he's commenting on you, if anything, it makes Opie and Anthony look bigger.
And people think just because you mention something, all of a sudden they're going to get new listeners. It doesn't work that way.
And it is one thing if like somebody smaller than you is making comments, you don't want to lower yourself to that level.
Yeah.
But if somebody, because at that point, definitely when they were on AAF, Stern was a lot bigger than Opie and Anthony. Sure. So it's not like them mentioning Stern. Like if they hadn't mentioned Stern, nobody would have been confused as to what was the bigger show.
Right.
You know?
Right. And even if it's a smaller show, I'm all for mentioning them. And if people want to go, like when Maxwell was fucking with us a few years ago, he started it. We didn't know who he was. But I don't believe in that. Like, if it's a small show or whatever, hey, if a guy is calling me out publicly, I'm going to address it publicly. We should address it. And, if we're so awful that him insulting us and playing his audio, people are going to go listen to him, then we don't deserve those listeners anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Have at it.
If anyone attacks us and the listener is so on the fence that they go to the person attacking us, hey, man, you won. Take the listener.
Right.
I don't believe that.
Joe in Jersey.
Hey, the best part of it, that broad, is that while she's sitting there going, well, there was all this bad stuff about homosexuality, they still get the wacky...
Yeah, it's the Wii store. It's the store music when you're browsing for a game.
She's trying to get all serious. Thanks, Joe. She's trying to get all serious. And, she's got Wii store music going on in the back. Like, really? Are we going to take you seriously?
It's always worse when I'm on the road and I find out, like, shows won't have me on. Probably Jocktober. Yeah, it comes back to bite me once in a while. The trade-off is worth it, though.
It is gutsy for someone in your position to participate as much as you do in Jocktober. I mean, you probably would never have ended up on Jackie, Tony, and Donnie.
No.
But there are shows that we've butchered that you would have been on.
Oh, yeah. And it's funny, I've actually met the rivals that I met. Lex and Terry and us went at it.
Right.
Nasty. And then I did Dallas about a year and a half ago, whenever it was. I'm sure Kenny would remember. And they had wanted to have me on. And I'm like, okay, I figured they were just going to attack me and it was going to get nasty. And I'm like, oh, come on. But as long as we talk about what happened with the Opie and Anthony. Like, I didn't want to go on and not mention the guys. Don't mention the guys. And they were cool. They were like, yeah, fine. Well, of course, we'll address it. And it was like December of 2009 or January of 2010. And I went on, and they were actually really cool. And they were asking about satellite, and they didn't have any more issue with O&A, and that was dead and done. And so it was kind of cool to go on and see guys that we had fought with.
Yeah,
and talk to them.
That's the best way for a radio war to end, is to have the two participants actually have some kind of talk to each other.
Yeah.
I mean, and it makes for the best radio.
Yeah, it was, are you looking it up when it was, Kenny?
No.
Oh, okay. Doesn't matter.